One of the other patterns that I see when I do clinical evaluations is a pattern of rigid thinking, which serves people really well when they are high achieving or career oriented people. Because if you don't waver from what you need to do, you can go full speed ahead and move people out of your way if it's not something that they're on board with. But they'll start to encounter relationship dynamics that aren't working anymore or aren't serving them because they have a really difficult time with rigid thinking. And the way that I approach these clinical interviews and assessments is neuroaffirming first and foremost. So none of this is ever evaluated through a lens of you need to fix this. It's always evaluated through a lens of this is a pattern that occurs for you in thinking. So how does that affect your life? Do you want to change how that affects do you want to change how that impacts you? Or are you okay with that trait in yourself and the way that it plays out in your relationship dynamics? We won't ever shame somebody for doing that. I still, to this day, recognize when my rigid thinking is kicking in. And my husband will give me a gentle reminder, will say, hey, I think this might be a situation. You think this might be a situation where your thinking is a little bit more inflexible. And that's a cue to me to go, oh, is this actually a hill that I want to die on? Or am I just having a really hard time transitioning from this activity to this activity, or from thinking it needs to be done this way and that's the only right way of doing it? Or is it okay for me to consider there might be another way of doing it? Sometimes it can be hard when you are socialized to defer to other people or see things through one lens, especially if your family, quote, always did it that way. It can be really hard to move from that space of being like, no, that's the correct and right way to do it, versus, okay, is there actually an alternative way that actually might benefit my close personal relationships and doesn't actually make that big of a difference if I change it in the end? But in the moment, our brains are screaming, no, this is what you have to